Yes, good morning, my fellow simpletons and degenerates. Here we are, making sure we are live once again, and we have some CPI numbers. Um, let's see if this is working to our advantage and how to play these numbers that are out. Can we trust them? I don't know. We'll dive in and see what it is that we can kind of look into these numbers and what they mean. Are we truly um seeing these numbers that they're saying we have, right? Or is there something else at play? um how are our savage stocks doing? Earning season's upon us. Some of our favorites got hit a little bit, and take advantage of opportunity. How do we play that? How do we play a stock that drops 20, 25%, and we have cash secure puts on it, right? How do we play that if we are like, a bit underwater? I'm going to dive into that. So this moment though, good morning. Muy buenos dias, my friends, my fellow simpletons, degenerates, and scallywags out in the world. It is I, the Savage of Wall Street. Welcome to my channel. Trying a little something different today. And you guys are gonna bear with me, but I think I figured out how to pop up comments. So we're gonna see if that is accurate and how to do so. So Moneymaker Juan is in the house as the number one viewer, first person in line. Moneymaker Juan, buenos dias, my friend. Charlie C2 is in the house saying, hey, Savage, what's up, brother? Charlie C2 is in the house saying hello to all. Jay Gill's in the house. Kent's mom, once again, in the house live. Good morning, Kent's mom. Charlie's saying ew, highs on the QQQ as we speak. And Ricardo Canales is in the house as well. All right, here we go. So let's pop out the chat, shall we? And we go to Moneymaker One, being the first person, and I'm trying to see if it shows here. How can I show it? Oh, it's not showing. Jeez. Durr. All right, I was trying to have your messages pop out, guys, and I'm seeing it here on my screen, but I can't see it on live here. I don't know what's going on. So let's see here. This is supposed to be a plug that I use, and it says nothing to see here. We popped out. Man, what's going on? Let's see here. Oh, what about if I go here and share screen, and then I do this, and I do this. Bam. There we go. I think I got it. Maybe. Yes, I do. There we go. So Moneymaker Juan saying good morning. Charlie saying hello to all. Jay Gill saying good morning, Savage. Ken's mom is in the house. And so here we go. Can you guys see Ken's mom there? Yeah. Charlie C2 saying ew highs. There we go. I gotta figure out a way in which I could you guys don't see the whole live, right? You guys can just see like one specific pop up, but we're getting there, guys. Ask for help from Uncle Bruce. I'm trying to leave him alone, man. He's got a lot going on right now that he's on vacation, and I want to leave him alone, man. But I know there's a couple of plugins. I'm just gonna look for the best works with me, right? So I think this is cool, but I kind of want the one that they use, right? That has the lower thirds type of thing. So, but yeah, that's help from Uncle Bruce. I just made Charlie C2 said C2 saying that he wrote a 571-569 put spread for 15 cents this morning or each morning. They're looking great now, but buyback stink bid at 0.2 cents about to hit. All right, very good, very good. So here we go. Stopping sharing now, but we see that it's there. It's great that I can see the pop-ups. I think I'm gonna have to work on it and tweak it a little, but that's kind of what I wanted, right? The live chat to show. That's kind of cool. Buenos dias, amigos. All right, from all over the world. Savage is in the house, and we're here, man. We're here, and we are with earnings season upon us, and a couple of our stocks got hit. But that's to be expected, right? How do you play a stock that is down 20-25%, right? Kind of like what's one that had earnings that is BBAI, right? BBAI is down around 25% today, right? And it's sitting at $5.28. Now, I think I was telling people to write sixes and get like $1.75, $1.50 for them up to January. And sevens, which I think I was telling people to get $2, $2.25, right? So if you would have written the sevens, right, and you would have gotten this, say $2 for them, right now you're still safe. I actually have some $7 cash secure puts, and I have some $6 cash secure puts. So basically, nothing that I talk about in here, I haven't gone through myself, right? So that's one of the great things about having skin in the game, is that I'm not just telling people, oh, this is what I would do. This is what I would do. I'm actually doing it, and I'm going through the trials and tribulations myself. So that's one thing, right? Another thing is, I tell you guys, don't go for the 28 cent, next week strike. Don't go for the 50 cent 2 week strike. Even a month sometimes. Take big chunks, right? This is exactly why I tell people take big chunks, because it's a lot more palatable to see that you're underwater, so to speak, right? But not really. The stock takes a 25% hit, right? A 25% hit. And this is another reason why we only write cash secure puts on red days, when the stock has fallen 10, 15, or 20%, because that premium is a lot more and you have more protection to the downside, right? And so, $7 cash secure puts right now are 268, right? At this moment in time. I happen to have gotten 280 for on average for these cash secure puts, which I started writing March the 13th, right? And I just kept averaging, because I just figured, $5 is $4 to $5 is a good starting point with BBAI, right? It's a good average to actually be put those shares at. And I would not mind, being put those shares at, $5, because I think the shares are worth just that, right? And then people think that, oh, well, you're a bear, you're a contrarian, or, you're always looking at, the worst side of things. No, I just tell people, I'm kind of looking at what the shares would be worth, right? And at this point, the shares would be worth, $5. And I'm okay with that. Now imagine getting paid to buy the stock at $5. Now, this doesn't mean that the stock is going to stay at $5. It just means that in January, right, when January comes around, these shares, if they're at 650, which I think they will be anywhere between 6 and 7, I'm going to get put those shares. And guess what? For every share, I've made over $1 in premium. So realistically, I'm getting the shares, at $5. Although the shares may be 650, 675, I'm already up ahead. This is the reason why I like big chunks, right? Not to say that I don't write, sometimes a month out or 3, 4 weeks out. But for the most part, the discipline is taking big chunks because of earnings. Now, this could have played a different way altogether, right? Um, this could have played where BBAI actually had good numbers and the street liked whatever it is that they were selling. And instead of being a 7, right? Or for this matter, 5.23 where it's at right now, the shares could be 8.50, $9. In which case, those cash secure puts would have shrank like 50%. So I would have bought back today and I would have made, 50, 60% on those shares, on those cash secure puts. And then I would have waited for another extremely red day on BBAI, and I would have done more cash secure puts, maybe at 7 again, or maybe at 8. But the whole point is that you're always protecting yourself to the downside. You're hedging, basically, right? And this is exactly why we do it. All right, what we got here? Ricardo Canales is saying Savage, and then our lurkers in the house saying sub and like lurker. Good morning, my friend. Gotta go. Peace out. He comes in as a quick strike. Hit it, just hitting quick. What's up, lurker? Take it easy. Have a great day. Charlie C2 saying sold another BBAI $6 January 2026 put for $195. And also this morning average is 182 now. I like it. I mean, I really, really like it. I mean, you're daring the market to come, to $4. Basically getting the shares at 418. That's great. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're basically saying to the market, I think this stock right now is $4 and I'm okay paying that. $5 and I'm okay paying that. Yeah, that's not a bad ride at all. You're basically getting almost 20% right off the bat for your troubles. Great job. $6, 182. No, you're getting 30%, over 30%. That's great, man. That's a great ride. Yeah. That's a really good ride, man. 30%. That's great for your troubles. That's exactly why you write cash secure puts on days like today, where the stock is bleeding, because that volume is high, but it also the volatility aspect of it is high. So you get bigger premiums, and it's all about getting bigger premiums. I really like that, right, brother? Ricardo's also saying unfolding, but it is hard sometimes. I do want this stock. See, that's the thing. That is the hardest thing to kind of come into grips with, is patience. That was my hardest thing to learn. It was not writing cash secure puts or cover calls. That was actually, the more I did it, the more you become an expert at it, right? But actually the patience to sit down and unfold, that's the main issue, and sometimes that's the hardest thing to learn. The more expensive thing to learn on my part. It's Ryan's in the house. What's up, Ryan? With the high IV for AI, love writing put spreads right now. Buying back SoFi put spreads. With IV Crush and Time still on the table, Rocket Lab still looking good. Bought shares of Ioba because it's cheap. Agreed. I actually I'm into Ioba. I think under $2, which is good. I'm leaving it alone. I have 1,000 shares. I'm good, and I'm just gonna see what happens. Tom Kaufman saying, "Hey Savage, what up, Tom?" And then it's Ryan said, wrote some put spreads on SMC or CMI. I think SMCI is what you meant. And luckily, the drop just makes me even at my cost basis. With every drop or missed quarter, is every company to be better. So this is the thing. Sometimes, even if some companies have good earnings, they'll go down. It's nobody knows what the market. Nobody knows what the market's gonna do, right? Sometimes some really, really good companies will have good quarters. They'll have some good showings, and they drop. And sometimes bad companies have terrible numbers in earnings, and they go up. why does that happen? Nobody knows. The whole point is that you take advantage of that and make some money. CPI numbers are in, and I guess they were better than expected by 10 basis points. They were at 2.7, I believe, and they expected 2.8, which I guess it's a win. I don't know. But anyways, inflation, I guess it's supposedly moving in the right direction. They're saying. Now, how do we trust these numbers, though? That's my thing. I understand that some people may say, well, those are the numbers. They can't really mess with those numbers. And I don't think that's 100% accurate. I think that the person that, gave us those numbers is doing exactly what the administration wants them to do, which is, make people feel as if inflation is low, and it's really not. I mean, how do you feel, right? Like, don't let me tell you that inflation is not necessarily down. But if you look at core inflation, that's up. Um, how do you feel? At home, you're the person that's buying groceries every week, right? You're the one that's going out to restaurants, and I mean, just look at unemployment, right? Um, Unemployments are a higher level than the pandemic or just as high. And that's pretty scary because people are losing their jobs at a ridiculous pace right now. And so you're telling me that this is good inflation, that this is a good economy. I mean, the stock market is really not uh, a good gauge for the economy. It just tells you that some companies are making a ridiculous amount of money. And like we talked about yesterday, for the NASDAQ at least, you see that NVIDIA, right, and Microsoft account for 50% of the value of NASDAQ. And that's insane, because if those two companies decide to have a bad quarter at the same time, what's going to happen? The economy may tank. And so that's one of the things why having all your eggs in one basket is not good. Think of your portfolio, right? Like, what if you were holding a ridiculous amount of like only SoFi, right? Like in another stock, and SoFi had a bad quarter and it went down. BBAI, for example, forget SoFi, and then your portfolio just dropped 30% today. That'd be insane. And that's what happens. You put all your eggs in one basket and then you get hit. Because you're now at the mercy of the one specific company. And I think that's not necessarily the smartest thing, but it doesn't matter what I think. I'm just relaying the information, right? All right, we got it's Ryan saying Russell put spreads. Okay, Mr. Go Lucky's in the house saying Savage. What up, Mr. Lucky? And Jeff Glass is in the house. You're not. You're here, brother. That's all good. We just kind of started diving into BBAI and the bad quarter that they showed, and I got hit a little bit because I have some of it, but I mean my average on BBAI is 407, right? So that's when I started buying, right? Well, that's when I got put those shares. My average was 407 after I think rolling once or twice, but that's what my average cost is, and so. I have some covered calls that I sold. I think some sevens till 2027, and I took a big chunk. And I sold some 7 puts and some $6 puts, and I took big chunks. So I'm protected until I think 420, 420. So anyhow, that's where we are with Big Bear, right? AI, our beautiful AI. It's 1688. I mean, it's fighting. It's fighting. And I don't think it's going to stay here for long. So this morning I bought back the rest of my sound cash secure puts for January. I think like 61 cents. I bought them back. I got like 280 for those, and or like $3 something, and I closed them out. And I took that money and I bought some more. I sold some more cash secure puts on AI, just because I really believe in this company. And I really, really like it. Interest of full disclosure, I've been trading it for 3 years, and I own it. And I really like the company, man. I have no covered calls out anymore. All of them have been bought back for pennies on the dollar. I made a killing when it comes to those covered calls, and especially because I had rolled some of them, and I took in like I think 280 or 240 the last time that I rolled. I think 18 of them. That was a big chunk of change, and I think I spent one third, no, like one fourth of that last roll premium to buy them back, which is crazy. But the stock is at 16.90, right? We were at 14 something yesterday. It's at 16.90 now. Let it recover. This is what it does. People are starting to realize, man, this is a good company, right? They do really good. They have a good product, and they came out with some good news today, right? So I really like it, man. Um, it doesn't help that yesterday um, Levi and Krasinski came out with a lawsuit, right? And I'm going to share this with you guys. Let's see if it shows. Let's see if it shows. All right, I'm going to go and share this with you, scallybags. Let's see here. I'm going to start sharing my screen, guys, just so you know. So let's see here. Screen share and there it is. Bam. Levi and Krasinski investigate C3.ai over possible securities fraud. It's a nothing burger. Someone is really upset, right? That big went in big, some whale, and their average was probably $28, $29. And because it's an AI stock, and AI was actually a darling of the industry for like a year. It went from $10 to like $30 to like $40 actually, and now it's sitting at $16. Somebody got really angry, lost a lot of money, and I've never met an attorney that does not like to take money, and they were say, sure, we'll fight this lawsuit for you, and possible securities fraud. There's always ambulance chasers. There's always going to be some type of litigation going on. But this happened yesterday, which it didn't help because of what happened, right? And the stock tumbled a lot. But here it is. It's August 11. These guys notified investors that it's commenced an investigation of C3.ai concerning possible violations of federal securities laws, right? And on August 8th, after the market closed, C3 unveiled disappointing preliminary financial results for the first quarter of fiscal 2025, ended July 31, 2025. The company posted revenue of 70 million to 70.2 million to 70.4, with a non-GAAP loss of 57.7 to 57.9 million, compared to C3's prior guidance of 100 to 109 million revenue. So they lost 30 million. Whoever the clients are, they decided that it's a security violation. The stock went down, people sold, and it's C3.ai's fault. So there's some shenanigans going on, right? Nah, man. Tom Siebel is the CEO of this company. Tom Siebel is a straight shooter. The guy is kind of like an older Anthony Noto, right? And the guy just works. And so that's kind of what is going on. And it doesn't help that there's a lawsuit going on. But the stock is at $16-17 right now. So it's a win. Right now, I wrote some more 1750 cash secure puts, and I just can't wait. These ones were out to October. But I have a lot out to like September and some October. I'm staying there. I'm not even going to January. And you guys know I love my big chunks. But if I take 250, 275 to buy C3.ai at 1750 in September, or or October. I took over $3 yesterday. I mean, great. I'm protected up to like I think $14 at this point, 14, $15. Like I'm getting it at that price point. I'm totally okay with that. Right. So it's one of the most active stocks of the day. And to no surprise, right? Because it's usually Nvidia, right? And Intel, Neo, C3.ai is one of the most traded stocks today. Archer is as well. Tesla, SoundHound, AMD, and it's to be expected. Lucid is actually one of the highest traded today. And welcome QBTS, which is D-Wave Quantum, which is one of the stocks that I'm trading right now, and I think I talked about on the show, right? So S&P is up almost a percentage right now. The S&P 500, the Dow 30 is up almost a percentage. The Nasdaq is up almost a percentage, and the Russell 2000, which is the smaller cap stocks, is up almost 2%. The VIX is down below 15, and gold is down 50 cents. So what does that tell us? That tells us the market is feeling a little better, is breathing a little better because of these CPI numbers that came out, right? So there's also a lot more noise in the background telling us that we may have 3 rate cuts this year, which is going to be great for the economy. A lot of people think. VIX is under $15, and I'm really giving it a thought to going in and buying a couple of hundred shares of VIX. I'm waiting for 1451. That's where my stinkers are. So I'm waiting. I haven't been put those yet, but that's the stinker. And if I can get the VIX at under 15, that is wonderful, because I think, and this is just me being, kind of hedging a bit. I think we have a little more room to the downside, right? But what do I know? I'm just a dumbass, man. I'm just over here, reading the news and talking to a group of people all over the world. Let's see here. What else we got? We got James Jeff Glasses in the house. He said, I'm late. It's all good. Ryan, Ricardo, were you writing on buying calls or puts? Made it in. Day job. Ugh. Bobby's in the house. Bobby Atkinson, what is going on, my dude? Mr. Lucky saying, I saw call credit spreads for BBAI. Drinks on me. Drinks on you, my man. It's Ryan saying, Mr. Lucky, laugh out loud. CKT bought saying bought BBAI today. Oh, to average down 1K shares. You know what? Let's show you guys what you guys are talking about. Here we go. Pop out the chat. And I'm going to share. Here we go. So here we go. CKT saying, but BBAI average down 1,000 shares. That's what's up. Here we go. Ryan saying wrote some put spreads on CMI and Lucky, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I think we read that. Here, Bobby saying made it. Yeah, because he's got a day job, and I understand completely what you're saying, my man. I am the same way, trust me. All right. It's Ryan is saying that he has a small account and he tries a few hundred a week. Ohio money, profit is profit. Profit is profit, my man. 100%. CKT. Dude is saying, let's go. CKT saying, look at bought back on SoFi cash secure puts. Cash secures today, with January 27th, 25 for 14 18% today. That's great, dude. I think everybody's goal is to make money, my man. I don't think there's really a percentage. You know, let's see here. Do the same. Loving my covered call strategies on MSTR. Been writing the chains like a pro. I've taken 25% of my underlying a month, just writing at the money covered calls on the weeklies. Quite say, yeah, those always come out. The woods work when the stock falls. That's exactly it, man. Those pesky attorneys. Jude K is in the house saying good morning. Oh, all right. So there we are. Right on, right on. So loving my cover call strategies. Yeah, the lawyers are a pain in the butt, man. But what are you gonna do? You know, it's a part of the process, right? I think that no company is ever a good company if they haven't gotten sued at least once. It's just the way it works. People want your money, you're making money. Um, Jude K saying, good morning, Savage. And oh, what's up, Jude? Dude is saying every month on MSCR, the lawyers are out there trying to brush on shareholders for litigation. I think it's a sign of a healthy stock that these lawyers are out there going after AI. I completely agree, my friend. It's just, it, it just shows you somebody got hit big time because they put so much money into the stock. They lost millions, and then they're like trying to blame someone. So why not go after the company itself because something happened? And it's not. I mean, we saw that. I think with SoFi. I think we saw that with Matterport. We saw that with I think Nvidia. There's so many companies that get sued for like ridiculous, frivolous reasons, right? And it happens. It's part of the game. Now, me, I personally love it when a stock gets hit like that, and it's a hit piece. And I told you guys the hit piece was out, I think, during the weekend, right? Um, and take advantage of it. Go in, have the stock drop 10, 15%, and go in with some cash secure puts and make easy money. It's free cash or very cheap shares. You win. It's a win-win. It doesn't matter, right? Um, CKT saying amazing to see Archer going up 5% after a rough earnings. Seems like analyst ratings or ratings have worked in their favor. It's all good. So again, some companies go up after earnings with good earnings. Some go down after good earnings. It's just we don't know what the market wants. And every stock is different, right? But the point of the matter is that you take advantage of it and that you react, that you have a plan, especially if you hold the stock. And then you go in and make money. That's the whole point of it, right? Sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose, but as long as you win more than you lose, that's what matters, right? Um, Lisa is in the house saying, I grabbed some BBAI at 498. The price can go up now. Good. Cash secure puts would have been great. Some $5 cash secure puts. Since you're willing to pay 498, why not pay for the stock? I mean, why not get paid to buy the stock? Good day to sell some covered calls on Unity. I sold November 40s and January 45s. What premium did you get? I'm curious. You threw some stink bits out there, some stink asks. I mean, and then you got as much as you could for them. That's wonderful if you did. And even if you're, at the mid, it's great. It's all good. The whole point is to make money. CKT saying cover calls on Arch today, January 26, 12s for 150 to 153. Is the stock up at least 5 to 10%? If it is, I think that's great. Let's see what Arch is doing. Let's see what Arch is doing, guys. I haven't done much this morning except bought back some covered calls or some cash secure puts and sold some cash secure puts. That's pretty much it. Look, oh yeah, Arch is up almost 5%, right? And it looks like my $11 puts and $12 puts are still at risk, but that's all right because I took big chunks. My $12 puts that I got almost $2 for are $2.65. I'm still underwater, so that means my $11 puts My 11 developers should be looking better. I got 142 for those. They're 158. Okay. I'm daring the market to come get me. My break even price is in the 950s here, and probably around the same on the other side. So I'm daring it to come on, baby, come on down, give me those shares. All right, so I'll do it with me, man. CKT saying covered hopes and arch today. I like that. I mean, if you want to bring in, you're selling at 12, right, and then you're bringing in 150. That's more than 10% of 12, which is wonderful. You get 11, 12% uh, to just fold your arms and bring in free cash. I think that's great. Especially if you're average, right? If your cost basis is like $9, $8, even 10. I mean, you're making $200, right? So yeah, that's a good rate. I'm not mad at that at all. Juan Velasquez is in the house saying good morning, everyone. Lisa, that's great. Go Unity indeed, my friends. I'm actually I have some I believe some 40s and some 35s out to 2027 on Unity. And I took a big chunk of money. So I forgot. I did some cash secure puts on GME. That's what I did. Some 30s for 2027 or 2026 January. I may have done some SMCI 40s or 45s and some ASTS. I did some ASTS as well. Some cash secure puts, and I brought in like a buttload of money. So cash grab. Um, so let's see here. Moneymaker Juan is saying, "Yep, look at ASTS. Bat earnings went up 20%. That's what I'm talking about, But this is why you take big chunks, because let's say instead of going up 20%, it went down 20%. Right? Let's see what my ASTS cash puts went for. Sometimes I remember because it's just happened. Sometimes there's so many that I sell that sometimes I forget. But let's see, my ASTS, I got 1455 for some cash secure puts from 50s expiring June 2026. So I got those are 1420. So I'm the $35 in, which is great. And then let's see, what else did I get? I got a 50. I think I got a 45. No, I got another 50, but this one expiring in January. And I got a 1055 for that. It is 1013. I mean, this could have gone the other route, right? This could have gone down. And on both of these, I'm my break-even price is like under 40. So let's say, these were like $15 at this point because the ASCS dropped, right? And I went down 25%. I'm still protected. This is why we do cash secure puts on red days and we take big chunks because you're protected on the downside. Now, I'm totally okay, with BBAI going down, 28%, 25% today because I'm still not in the money. And even if I was, I'd be okay. This is why I tell you guys, right? Cash secure puts on red days where the stock falls at least, 10%. And then go down a strike zone or two and try to get big chunks by going out 3 months or more because you can get a nice chunk of change, because the IV is higher. Obviously, this is not financial advice. This is something that I would do and something that I've done. So anyhow, what we have here, Moneymaker Juan is saying, I made a killing. I had puts from 49 to 40 across different dates. Closed all of them this morning for anywhere to 30 to 70% gains. That's a win. That's a win. That's a win. That's a win. I like it. Great job, Juan. CKT saying bid at 153. See if it feels. He's got his stink ask out there. Stink bid. Juan Velasquez saying got 112 for a $5 BBAI December 19th. Good for you. That's a good one. That's more than 20%. Great, right? Do the same. Be good, party people. Happy trading. I'm guessing you're taking a stroll, which is great. Have a good day, my friend. Lisa saying, watching SoFi up $1. I know Bagel Family owns thousands of shares. I have like 20,000 shares across many platforms. And I'm telling you right now, I'm very happy. I'm underwater because I have some covered calls, but either way, I'm gonna either get those shares taken away and take a pile load of money January 2026, or I'm gonna receive my shares back. I'm daring the market. I'm daring the market, and that's how I feel about that. Um, Rivian, what is Rivian doing today? It is down a little bit, not much, 1%. Man, I really like Rivian, guys. I really, really like Rivian. Um, and if you guys were looking for an EV and Tesla is a little too expensive for your taste, and Neo is a Chinese stock you don't really want to mess with, and Lucid is just not, it's just not where you want it to be. Rivian is a great choice. You could do $12 cash secure puts and bring in almost $1 right now. You could ask for 98 cents. That's $98 to buy in October. Um, Rivian at $12, which realistically is almost 11, right? Like 11.02. Um, Not a bad ride at all. Not a bad ride at all. Actually, I'm sorry. I was looking at calls. My bad, guys. 110. You could bring in 110 for the 12s for October. That is not terrible at all. Bringing 110 bucks. That's almost 10% for your money to get stashed away, or you receive some shares on that day, or for a stock that's going to be. You're basically going to get them under 11 bucks, almost at $10. That's a great right, man. That's a great right. Sure, this show is. Yeah, that's a great right. Anybody that's interested in Rivian, it's somewhere where I think it's attractive. You want to get a little more cash? Go to January, do some 12.50 cash secure puts and bring in $2. Almost 12, almost 20% for your troubles. Why not? All right, here we go. Double D saying AI is still a go. AI is a go, my man. AI is a go for me for sure. Charlie C2 saying yes, ma'am. Lisa, go SoFi, go. Juan Velasquez saying yes, indeed, Lisa, go SoFi. I agree. Let's check on SoFi. Indeed. What are we doing with SoFi? It's 23.39. Man, remember when SoFi was like 19 bucks, like a couple of weeks back, and it went to like 20, 19 bucks, and I said, $20 cash secure puts out to January are bringing $3 right now or more. It's free money. I wrote some. I bought them back for a nice profit. And right now, those same puts that were like 325, I believe, those are 171 right now. 170, 171. You would have made pretty much 50% almost on your return on investment. To buy a really good company, that's how you make money, guys. Taking taking all the due diligence that taking some capital and saying, you know what, this is what I like, this is where I'm going. Have faith in yourself. Know what you hold. At some point, I know sometimes we all have our insecurities when it comes to what we know, right? But man, sometimes I wish I would have pulled the trigger a lot more times because I didn't trust myself and my due diligence. Although I was like, I really should, but I didn't because there was just something, right? And even though my gut was telling me this is a good move, I was like, my brain got in. It was like, well, look at the metrics and all this, that, right? And I left a lot of money on the table because of that. And you gotta trust yourselves, people. You gotta have faith in yourselves and what you know. Um, Unity is up 7.5% today, and I think that's beautiful. Um, Selling some October covered calls would be not a bad deal today. Selling some $40 October strikes. The stock is at 35.60. You have to go up almost $5. It's already going up 7.5%, 8% today. You're basically telling the market, I'm okay selling my Unity at $40, and you can bring in $253 at this point. 253 to 255 bucks. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Bring in cash right now. If you have, 200 shares, that's pretty much 500 bucks. What can you do with 500 bucks? Can you use 500 bucks? Can you pay your bills for the month with 500 bucks? I bet you can. I bet you can. Your TV getting kind of old. You want a new TV? Boom. There it is. The gamblers just paid for it, right? A new appliance, your stove is taking a crap, and you've been wanting to buy that stove for a couple of years now. You've been putting it off because it still works. There's a ridiculous amount of sales right now in a lot of appliance stores because they're not moving anything. People just aren't buying. There is no discretionary spending at this point, right? Because everything's expensive. People are actually putting groceries on their credit cards. They're actually using credit and paying it down later to buy food, to stock up their pantries. That's crazy. But I mean, it's a fact, right? You could go and buy groceries for the month with 500 bucks. And thank you gamblers, right? You can do that by selling some covered calls on Unity right this moment. It's a nice chunk of change you're bringing in. If you have 10, you have 1,000 shares, you could bring in 2,500 bucks. Pay your mortgage for a month or two, depending on how expensive your mortgage is. Thank you, gamblers, right? You have some credit card debt, pay it off. That interest kills. I never recommend for people to carry interest. If you don't have to, use your credit card. Don't pay interest, obviously, if you don't have to, right? And never carry a balance if you can help it. That's like the number one way in which you'll get yourself in a hole, right? Getting out of debt is key, people. There's always good debt, right? Which is like your mortgage is good debt, right? Like and then they tell you that having college loans is a good debt, which I argue against, because schools are just ridiculously expensive, and the degrees are really not much now, But anyways, try not to carry debt, and if you can pay off your debt with some covered call money, beautiful. Thank you, gamblers, right? All right, see what we got here. Let's share the screen one more time. Ew, hold on. Where's my pop-up? Pop-up chat. Right, here we go. Let's share the screen. This live stream is the best. Y'all have a great day. I'm Charlie in Colorado, says Double D. Double D, have a great day, my friend. Hector saying good morning. Good morning, Hector. Mando number 5 is saying let's go 17. I'm guessing you're talking about AI. I agree. Thoughts on SoFi for 2026 and 2027? You got to be specific. Covered calls, cash secure puts, the company itself. I think the company is it's a great company. 2026, we may see $30 a share. 2027, 50 or more. That's what I think. It's a great company. I was buying it at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, doing cash secure puts at 20, 17, 15. It's just adding at this point. Um, yes, ma'am. Go SoFi go. Lisa saying watching SoFi up $1. I know Bagel Family owns thousands of shares. Yes, we do. Yes, we do, and we're making bread. Yes, sir. AI is still a go, my friend. Yes, sir. All right, dude, take it easy. And Juan Velasquez saying got 112 of BBAI December 19th, $5 strikes. Great going. Yes, sir. That's what we got, man. Um, Charlie C2 saying gotta run. Also, have a great day, everyone. Thanks for your thoughts, Savage. All good, man. All good. Here I am, for the next hour. And I'm just gonna be, looking at the market, looking at what it's giving us. I personally, I'm loving the fact that Arcturus Therapeutics Holdings is up 35% today. I have some. The ticker is ARCT, and I know I may have spoken about it maybe once on the show, but it's one of those that it's so niche, right? And the premiums were not the best, but just like I tell you guys may have a stock or two that you guys are kind of like gatekeeping, right? Because it it resonates with you, you like it, you like the company, you read on it, and you're holding it, and you're selling cover calls or cash secure puts on it, and it's not so exciting as to tell the world, right? But you kind of trade it, and I think this is one of these for me. It was actually, I think I got it like around $10, and it's up nicely today, and I'm happy. I'm happy when it comes to that. Now, conversely, BBAI is down. You know, Another one of the savage stocks is AAOI. I told you guys, some $20 cash secure puts were pretty good. And I think last week I was telling people $20 cash secure puts would be great. They were giving around 470, 435 to 470. Um, the expiration date is 1/16/26, so January, right? Cash secure puts for AAOI, $20 puts. The stock was at 23, I think, when these were like this. So it's like great cushion, right? And I knew they had earnings, and earnings are good. So now my AAOI $20 cash secure puts are down 23%. Basically. So like I'm at a positive 23.95%. And I'm gonna dare the market to take me out. I'm $3.47 away. It came down a bit, I guess, because people were expecting the earnings to be not great, but Alas is up 12.5% today. So beautiful. I'm going to hold on to that cash secure put, and I'm going to let the Ivy crush happen, right? And then I'm going to take my money. Hopefully, they buy back at like 50%, 40%, 60% profit in like a couple of weeks instead of like months. Totally okay with that. So AAOI, it's another one of my babies, having a good time. I think the first time I talked about it was in the Uncle Bruce show, and I think the stock was at like I want to say I was like at $13. It was like at $13 or $14, and I did some 12.50 cash secure puts, which I got like $4 for, some ridiculous, right? Um, and then overnight they had some good news, and the stock popped like 100%, and and I bought back the cash secure puts the next day for like an 80%, 85% profit. And that was the first time. And that should have been like, um, kind of your cue to kind of maybe have a look see. And if you were around, obviously, right? Like you can't know what you don't know. But, you may want to put AAOI in your watch list, you know, um, because it's the premiums are extremely good, and it's I like it. It's a good company, man. It engages in the design. It's basically applied optoelectronics, right? And they engage in the design and manufacture of optical communication products. Its products include optical devices such as laser diodes, photodiodes, related modules, and circuitry and equipment for applications in fiber to the home, cable television, point to point communications, and wireless. The company was founded um, and headquartered in Sugar Land, Texas. So it's got over 3,300 employees. It's in Texas, so regulations are not choking the company, and they're making money, man. That's the bottom line. They're making money, and I like it. I want to keep trading it, right? Let's see here. Mr. Lucky saying without writing out credit spreads on Snap and BBAI. Good for you, my friend. Good for you. Um, I don't do credit spreads because I just it's too much of a babysitting action going on there. But you know what? If you have the patience and the time, I say go for it, especially if you're making money, right? So let's see here. Sentinel One is up today, 2%. Yesterday was under $15. I was telling people, I think it was under $16. I was like 15.50. But I was telling people, write some $15 cash secure puts on it. It reminds me of CrowdStrike. Sentinel One, the ticker is S, capital S. It reminds me of CrowdStrike. And I was telling people about CrowdStrike when it was at like $70, $80 a share a couple of years back. Look at how much CrowdStrike is right now. It's like $600. This reminds me of CrowdStrike, and I honestly, I think it's a better company. They're in the cybersecurity space. They do very well. They're very well ran. They have good metrics. I like the way that they do business. They've never been hacked, unlike CrowdStrike, right? And I think the company has a bright future ahead of itself, man. So at this point, not incredibly heavy on it, right? But I've taken a position and I'm sitting pretty. So at this point, I'm just gonna see what it does in the next quarter or two, and I'm gonna keep adding, right? And the premiums are not the sexiest, but it's one of those companies that I think it's gonna go from 20 to 50 really quickly, right? I could be wrong, of course, but I like it. I like the stock. Um, the QQQ has shut up, I think, and that means our SQQQ is down. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. So I'm gonna keep my eye on the SQQQs because right now, September 19th, $20 call for the SQQQs is at 42 cents. The bid's at 41, the ask is at 42. So gonna buy a couple right now and we'll see what happens. I think we still have we had CPI today and then we have PPI coming up, right? Let's see what these next 2 weeks bring. I think we are, like I said, we have a little room to the downside, and it's just a matter of time. Um, at this point, earnings on all these companies are telling us exactly what to look for, right? What's going on? All these companies that are having earnings, their guidance is lower. That tells you where we're going. CPI is one of those tricky benchmarks because they exclude, food and energy, right? And isn't that what you buy every day, right? So gas and food. So if they included those, I think the numbers would be vastly different. Also, um, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here, but when it comes to CPI, um, the person that's putting out those numbers is very friendly to the administration. Can we really trust an administration that when a an arm of the government shows numbers they don't like, they fire the person at the helm? Can we trust that? So I say take these CPI numbers with a grain of salt, um, and let's see what happens in the future, right? Let's see what happens. I mean, the market obviously liked these numbers, but let's just not be overly optimistic. Be cautiously optimistic. Um, this is how I feel right now. Okay, with all these numbers, are we going to get three rate cuts this year? We don't know. Um, what do we know? We know that our stocks where they are right now, right? I know that C3.ai is 1671 right now. That's what I know. And if I wanted to do more cash secured puts on it, I would. And this is exactly what you do cash secured puts on it. I know that NVTS, Navita Semiconductor, is up 2% today. All right. In the last week, it's up 5%. I know that for a fact. Okay, because I can see it. I have $8 cash secured puts on it. Then I got 154 and 140. And those $8 cash secured puts are 160 right now. So I'm a little bit underwater, but I'm okay with that because my break-even price would be 640. So stock is at 676. $8 cash secured puts. I mean, I'm still on. Put those shares to me. I got paid to get that stock, where it is right now, which is fine. And as soon as I get those shares, I will sell some covered calls, probably some sevens, or some eights, and bring in more premium. But I won't write those calls unless I get a 5% pop or more on the stock. And that's the discipline, right? What is RXRX doing today? RXRX is actually it's trading sideways. I mean, that's what we want, right? When we sell covered calls, we love it when a stock trades sideways or a little to the downside. And we're not afraid of the upside because if it trades to the upside, we roll. And either way, we're making money, guys. The whole point of this game is to make money. And that's what we're doing, right? Recursion Pharmaceuticals is 531 at this point. That's what we know for sure. We don't know what the future holds. But I know that right now, I mean, if you wanted to sell a cash secured put to December, it's 531. You could sell some fives. You could bring in $95, right? Almost $1. So you're basically getting almost 20% by going out to December. You want to get a little more money? Bring in $105 by going to January. So you're getting the stock at $395, basically, if you were to put those shares. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. What are other companies doing? Webull. Webull is down a bit today. It just shut up. It was down a bit, and am I right? Sweet, accurate. Webull is up a little bit today. Okay, it's up 2.7%. That's wonderful. I have some 1250 cash secured puts that are nice and green, and I have some $15 cash secured puts that I got over $3 for. Those are 290 right now. So I'm daring the market to put those shares into my account. I have their October. I have October cash secured puts, and I have January 16 cash secured puts. Daring the market to put those shares right in my portfolio because I like the company, I like the stock. I do know that I poo-pooed on them, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and I took a profit. I mean, I took a profit. And now I came in and I'm getting them cheaper than I would have then. And so it's all about making money, right? But I'm still not like, overly exposed. I'm not, it's only like 300 shares we're talking about here, not a ton, right? And then we have two 15 cells and two $15 cash secure puts expiring in October, and one 12.50 cash secure put expiring January. And that's what we got. And at this point, I'm just crossing my arms. And I know that's one of the hardest things for some people to do, is just on boring days, cross your arms and, let life be boring. But boring makes money. Boring makes money, right? My life has enough excitement as it is. I don't need the stock market to give me like high blood pressure as excitement, man. I really don't. Um, let's see. Lisa is saying, I'm averaging down on my SQQQs too, 52-week low. Agreed. It's a 52-week low. That's when I strike at 52-week lows. Juan Velasquez is saying, Savage is a heck of a good advice to be cautious right now. I'm loading up on SQQQs because I feel like 2 more months we will have a good downdraft. This party can't continue up. We need a good 15% correction, I'm guessing you're trying to say, and I agree. I just stocks don't just go up, right? And it's just a matter of time. Now, we could be grossly mistaken, and it could be one of those where we're artificially propping up this market and it keeps going up for whatever reasons. Totally okay, right? Totally okay. I have no problem with my holdings gaining value. But do you want to protect yourself in case of a downside? Think of the SQQQ as a little insurance, right? That's why I think of the SQQQs as. It's just a little insurance. You're gonna pay a premium for that insurance for like monthly, right? But if shit was to hit the fan, you're gonna be glad that you have insurance, and that's the way that I see it, right? There's nothing wrong with protecting yourself to the downside, and that's a very conservative way of investing. There's nothing wrong with that. Worst case scenario is you roll those SQQQ calls and you pay a little more. Totally okay. But what if the market went down 15-20% like in a week or days, right? Um, and your holdings just lost value and you have nothing to show for it. That's what sucks. And I've been there before. This is exactly why, as you get more to be more of a seasoned investor, you start looking for ways to hedge, right? And you protect yourself a little more. And instead of losing, 60, $70,000 in value because your holdings drop, 15-20%, you lose 30% or 20 because you made 30,000 or 40,000, in the SQQQs when that came up, right? And so it's always good to have a nice little insurance, and that's the way that I look at it. Let's see, what is GME doing, guys? I'm I don't know if you guys saw my shirt here, but I'm a GME head, man. I'm a straight I'm an ape. Just so you guys don't know, in case you guys don't know, I'm a freaking ape, right? And I'm waiting, patiently waiting for the rocket. James Squeeze, baby. Let's see what we got here. All right. BPCI is saying, how do you play the SQQQ, Savage? Lisa just let you know. She's looking at what I look at, which is the 52-week low. You see the SQQQ is at a 52-week low. Throw in some stink bids because it may go a little lower. And that is the one time that I actually do calls and buy calls because my exposure is less. Like I don't buy the shares. The VIX I do buy shares now, Um, and the SQQQ, I um, I do 8 to 10 calls or more. Sometimes I average down and I'll have 20, right? And you'll be surprised. It may be down 30%, 40% on the calls, right? And always go out 3 months, 3 months, 3 months or 4 months for protection, because that way you give yourself time for things to happen. Um, and you'd be surprised sometimes. Those the SQQQ goes up 90% in one day, and then the next day goes up another 60%, and the next day another 80%, and that's just how it works. Not saying that this is exactly what is going to happen. Nobody knows, right? Past performance does not dictate future outcomes, right? But that's kind of how I protect myself from like a massive drop on the Nasdaq, and so when the QQQ just drops, because for whatever reasons, events happen all the time, black swan events, and bad news happen quickly. With this administration, definitely, in the morning you could be green and the market is up 4%, 3%, and the afternoon is down 5%. We've had, I think, in the past few months, when we down like 1,800 points at some point, 2,000 points. I think the S&P was down, or the Dow was down like 2,000 points at some point in the year, and then it kind of it settled at like 1,500, and then the next day we were down 1,200, and the next day another 1,000. I mean, you're just protecting yourself. That's kind of what you're doing. We got going on here. Um, Beach Boys in the house. Sawadika, Savage. Sawadika, my friend. Yeah, buddy. Sawadika. All right. What else we got here? So yeah, GME. GME is up 0.8% today. Nothing burger, right? But I have some $23 cash secure puts that expire in October. And I have a $30 cash secure put that expires in October. I also have $30 cash secure puts that expire in January. And I'm just patiently waiting, man. Patiently waiting. That premium has just been eaten away. But sadly, GME is one of those that they hold their value almost till like the last week. And I'm just waiting. The market is saying that GameStop is worth $22 a share, and I may disagree with it, but that's where we are, right? So that's why that explains that $23 cash secure puts. Let's see here. What do we got here? Let's see. Let's watch this, Beach Boy. Watch this. Oh man. Boom. Here we go. Boom. Juan Velasquez is saying, ew. Savage is a heck of a good advice to be protecting yourself on the downside, right? Right. Um, Beach Boy, there you go. And then BCPY says you buy a call in the SQQQ if you think the market is going to tank, then say 45 days out or something. Well, yeah, kind of like that. I mean, 2 months out, maybe. Right now, I think October would be a good day, right? Um, the market always goes down in August and September, and right now they're kind of keeping it from that. But um, I don't know, man. It's just I see the market dropping quite a bit in the next month. I think that all these companies are telling you. I mean, they're telling you, right? They're having earnings, and they're letting us know exactly where they are standing at this point, and their guidance is lower. Their future guidance is low. So what are you gonna do? How can you tell them otherwise, right? I mean, they're telling you. Look at inflation. Inflation. I mean, it's still at 2.6 percent, 2.7%, right? Um, Core inflation is up higher. Um, Companies are laying off people at a massive rate right now. I think that the unemployment, the numbers we're seeing are higher or as high as the pandemic. That's insane. If you think about it, there is no world pandemic at this point, right? Um, but yet companies have that same fear. Why? It's because they're not bringing money as much as they were, right? Um, they just have a negative outlook on what the future is looking like, and that's the key point, right? And you don't have to trust me. I mean, let's look over here. Let's look at companies laying people off. Let's see here. Companies laying off 2025. All right. So, and I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm going to share it, my friends. Okay. There it is. Several major companies have announced or are implementing layoffs in 2025, including tech giants like Microsoft, Intel, and Meta. Those companies are very healthy as far as the stock, right? Um, but yet they're laying people off massively. Why? Right? In other sectors such as finance and retail. I mean, if inflation is down, right? And the numbers are good, and there's so much money out in the world, right? In everyday, America. Why are finance institutions laying people off, right? Why retail? Discretionary spending is down. Um, these layoffs are driven by factors like economic downturns, restructuring efforts, and impact of artificial intelligence of various industries. But I assure you that AI is not the biggest one, right? It's just that uneasiness to spend money. Um, Look at this right here. Hewlett Packard's laying off thousands of people. Hewlett Packard Enterprise, Norvolt, Teva Pharmaceuticals, Continental AG, Meta, Porsche, Beyond Petroleum. Beyond Petroleum is laying people off. Um, Cisco Systems, IBM, Chevron, Bosch, Microsoft. Dell Technologies laid off 12,000 people, and Intel 22,000 people. Now, we can all have, a discussion on 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 why these numbers are happening, right? We can have a healthy discussion and agree to disagree as to why, right? But the fact remains is companies are laying off people at a massive rate, right? Um, and there's no way to to spin it. This is exactly why I just think that the economy is being propped up by a couple of companies only, and when you take the Nasdaq, right? I just said that Microsoft and Nvidia are like the two companies that are holding 50% of the Nasdaq up. That's insane because there could be out of those 1,000 companies, it could be 200 are terrible, right now. But because of these numbers that we're having from Nvidia and Microsoft, those numbers, because they're being averaged, right? They're not that bad. And look at the QQQ, it's up, right? So it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time, and I think that sooner rather than later we're going to see a nice downturn. A correction has to happen, and that's not necessarily a bad thing either, right? Corrections are a healthy thing because it just shows you that things have to even out, right? But I mean, companies laying people off massively the way that is happening right now, to the levels of like the pandemic, that should just tell you something. That's a red flag. And that's exactly what I look at, right? And I'm just like, okay, well, let me protect myself, and let me buy some calls so that to short the QQQ, right? Let me buy some SQQQ, and so like I said, it's a little insurance. And if I'm wrong, then I lose, I don't know, $500, $1,000. Um, but if I'm right, that could turn into like 10,000, $20,000, and I'm protected because my portfolio is going to drop, right? And so I don't just lose money that day. I'm actually making some money, so it helps out, right? And then I'm able to then take that money, right, from the SQQQ, and then I'm able to buy some cheap stock, and I grow my portfolio. I do some cash secure puts out to like 3, 6, 12 months, and then bring in a big chunk of change, and then I use that money to go and buy stock where it is, which is cheap, and I grow my portfolio. And that's what I've been telling people. That's kind of one of the ways that you grow your portfolio organically, right? And I'm not out in margin doing this. This is like real cash in my account. Not to say I don't go on margin. I go on margin whenever I buy some covered calls, and I just don't want to take money from the cash secure puts, um, for whatever reasons, right? And as soon as I close those covered calls, then I go and I sell some more covered calls at a lower strike out further out, and then I bring in premium, and then I use that premium to kind of get out of margin, and that's how I play margin. But I don't recommend people go on margin because you'll get in trouble real quick. All right, so let's see here. CKT saying number one, bid on Archer hit $12 covered calls for January 2026, and the premium he got was 153. So that's $153 times 10. So my man just made $1,530 while I'm here rambling around. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, that's wonderful, man. Good for you, CKT. Good job. That's a great call. The man just made $1,500 in minutes. I mean, that's God bless America. God bless America. And on that note, a very positive note, I am going to bid adieu to you guys because I have to get ready to drop off the little one in kindergarten, and I have to get ready to go to my physical therapist appointment because I'm still hurt. Actually, it's really weird because I hurt my lower back but now that everything is kind of settled and I'm kind of doing some PT and walking a little bit, not much. I feel that I'm very sore behind my like knee and like right in where the bone, like my femur, the upper thigh bone kind of meets your pelvis, and then that hinge, like I'm in pain right in that area, like right in the middle of my butt, and behind my knee, and I think obviously my lower back. So I'm thinking, I may have um, kind of hurt my lower back, but it also strained because I have a lower back strain, like a moderate lower back strain, and I think that muscle pulled um, that other band in the back. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor, right? But it's just like it sucks because I either gotta ice it or I gotta heat it up, and it's just like it's a pain in the butt, literally, right? But anyways, uh, my fellow simpletons, degenerates, and near do wells, scallywags. Thank you for watching, man. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Uh, Juan Velasquez, BPCY, Beach Boy, CKT, Mr. Lucky, Hector, Armando, it's Ryan, Juan Velasquez, Charlie C2, Lisa, Double D, CKT, Moneymaker Juan, Jude, Dude. Thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate you. It's Ryan, Jeff Glass, Bobby Atkinson, Tom Kaufman, Not a Lurker, Ricardo Canales, Jay Gill, Kent's mom, obviously. You guys, man, you guys rock. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, man. I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time, around 8:30 a.m., maybe a little earlier. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show. We'll see what the guys. I hope you guys have a great day. And just like I hope you guys make like 1,000, 1,500 bucks today, and use that money to make your life easier, man. Use it, make it real. It is the way. This is the way. That's how we do it. Please give us a thumbs up, share, like, comment. That helps the algo. If you guys can watch the channel on repeat, even if you're not at the house and you're going to walk out, play my videos in the background because it helps. Trying to make 100 millionaires on this channel. That is the goal, to make 100 millionaires. And why not 10? Well, because between myself and Beach Boy and Birdie and I forget who else. That's like 4 already, right? And so that's not too much of um, of a goal. Like what I would do is I want to make 100 millionaires. This show has to be watched by 100 millionaires, made the organic way. And I would love to say this is the show that made 100 millionaires. That is my goal. It is my personal goal. Will it happen? I don't know. But that's kind of a nice, ambitious goal that I have, is to be able to say Moneymaker Juan is a millionaire, Charlie C2 is a millionaire, Jay Gill is a millionaire, Kent's mom, Ricardo Canales is a millionaire. I want to be able to say um, that Not a Lurker is probably a millionaire already, but it's Ryan's a millionaire, Tom Kaufman, Jeff Glass, Mr. Lucky, Bobby Atkinson's a millionaire, CKT for sure, Dude, Face, Jude Case a millionaire, Lisa is a millionaire. Um, I just want to be able to say that everyone is watching. That's a regular Mando number 5 million, Hector, Double D, BPCY. Everyone watching is a millionaire on this channel. Wouldn't that be so cool to say that we were here, however many years ago, and then like 2, 3, 4 years down the line, and the show's still here, and it's still the same 20, 30 people. I don't care. But you know what? We're freaking millionaires, man. And anyways, that's kind of my goal personally. And whatever your goal is, I hope you meet it. And God damn it, let's take everything from them. Give them nothing. Give them nothing. Take everything from these gamblers, because that's what they are. And just use it, because you know what? If it's not you, it'll be someone else. It might as well be you that's watching me right now. Um, let's Mr. Tree, Misty Tree saying I made it. Lucky 26. Misty, thank you so much for watching. Future millionaire for sure. Juan Velasquez, glad to be here with you and everyone else. Thanks, Savage. You're welcome, my friend. Misty Trey saying QQQs are a pain in the butt, but spreads are a tiny account. Make half of the month's goal this week. SoFi Cash Secure puts in the main account. Thanks for all the help and support with this family. You're welcome. And you guys have a great day. Until then, until tomorrow at 8 a.m., 8:30, I'm here. Don't forget to tune in, like, subscribe, share, watch the videos on repeat. Helps me with the algo. You guys have a great day. I am out of here. I am the Savage of Wall Street, the one and only, here, making sure people are making bread while they sit down and have coffee. That's how we do. That's how everyone should do. Future millionaires. That's what's up. Guys, take care. Have a great day. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.